How's it going, guys? Kyle with 4 Ranch. This is kind of a different video. This is definitely going to be the first of its kind. I've never really gotten political. I don't intend to get political with my channel. However, it's something that I feel is very important. So, for those of you that don't know, although this is definitely circulating amongst the gun tubers, and I just want to, throw my 2 cents in towards the cause. For those of you that do not know, there's a pending regulation or a new regulation that's going to be implemented by the ATF regarding any kind of rate increasing devices for firearms. So obviously this is targeted towards the bump stock or the binary or echo triggers, following what happened with the Las Vegas shooting, which of course we can all agree is a terrible thing. We can all agree that that's a tragedy and that people that die before they are intended to, that's just a terrible situation all around. However, it obviously is a gray area and an area of controversy when you get into where one person's rights end and the next begin. And so I just want to do what I can to make you guys aware that there is a new pending policy through the ATF where they want to ban any kind of rate increasing device. Now, my first issue with this is that that is very vague. So a rate increasing device, again, like I said, it's obviously targeting the bump fire stock or the binary or echo triggers. But if they, as it sounds right now, anything rate increasing like the cryptic coding bolt carrier group that I reviewed a few weeks ago on the channel, technically that's a rate increasing device just because of the fact that there is less friction on that bolt carrier, your fire rate can increase. So because of that, what if they, what if that falls under that category? The second issue is, how do you even define a standard for rate of fire on a semi-automatic weapon? Obviously, how fast I can shoot it is going to be a lot different than my girlfriend, who's also been on the channel. So who sets the standard there? And if you do exceed whatever that standard is, then technically, does that constitute you as using a machine gun, even though it's a semi-automatic, based on how fast you're shooting? So I have a problem with that too. It's kind of going to create a gray area. Obviously, I would assume that things would be a little bit more defined, but it just makes me nervous in general that that is the direction that they're going. So there's obviously a lot more details. I'm trying to get to the key points and make you guys aware of that. The other thing that I have a huge issue with is that the fact that the ATF itself is creating this policy. It is not going through the legislature. The ATF themselves have been tasked by Congress to create a new policy. So Congress doesn't want to be the ones who get chewed out. They don't want to lose their seats. They don't want to, they want to make sure they get reelected. And so it's my understanding that for this reason that the ATF has been tasked with this. So again, do your own research on this issue. I'm just giving you my understanding, and of course I, by no means am I any kind of professional. I'm just a small gun tuber out there trying to get the message across. But it's to my understanding that the ATF is basically the scapegoat for the situation, and they've been tasked with creating this policy. So I have a huge issue with that for a couple of reasons as well. The first is that the ATF is technically, they fall under the executive branch. They're not lawmakers, they're supposed to be law enforcers. So in doing so, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the principles that the country that we love and care about so much was founded on, and I kind of have an issue with that. That kind of rubs me a little wrong. The other issue is that who runs the ATF, it's not an elected position, it's an appointed position. And because of that, if the ATF is allowed to do this now, obviously, as you guys know, we have a Republican president, we have a Republican, legislature right now, but what if that shifts? What if the tides turn and someone who's anti-gun is appointed into the ATF? And now that the ATF, if we open that door where they're allowed to enact essentially laws, because even though, it's a policy, it's a regulation, it is going to be carried with the weight and authority of a law. So if that is allowed, it's kind of a slippery slope, guys. It really is. Let's say the leadership of the ATF changes and they want to do away with AR-15s as a whole. Obviously, that's going to cause a problem, and there'll be a lot more people probably protesting that than these rate increasing devices. But the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is I don't think we should let it get to that, guys. I truly think that we need to voice up our opinions and stop this now. So on that note, and I'll have a link in the description below, the Gun Owners of America, an awesome association that I'm sure you guys have heard of. Hopefully you've heard of it. If not, then make sure to check them out. But they have made it easy for you to leave comments directly to the ATF, who are accepting comments until January 25th of 2018. So if you're watching this, hopefully you got it in time. Guys, it'll take about 2 minutes for you to click that link. You give the ATF your opinion on the matter. I do ask, and so are the other gun tubers, we're asking that you be respectful. If you make up some name, you don't put your actual name, or at least a name that sounds like it could be a real name. Or if you're just talking trash, they're going to throw the comments out the door, and that's not helping the cause. It's just wasting time on both ends. So be respectful with what you're talking about, and really get your point across. Use your logic, and I'm also I'm not a dictator, so whatever side you stand on the argument, then voice your opinion. But if you are for these rate increasing devices to be legal, as they should be under your Second Amendment rights, that should not be infringed upon, make sure you state that. And if you don't want to even think of your own talking points or logic, the Gun Owners of America have also made it to where you can just copy and paste their logical points to express that to the ATF. If you agree with those positions, then you can still express those positions to the ATF. So again, guys, that's kind of the gist of it. I tried not to make this too long. It actually went a little longer than what I intended, but I just want to do my part. Although I have a very small influence on the gun community, I do have a bit of an influence, even though again, I'm not one of those huge channels. I wanted to do my part in this fight, and I'm hoping and asking for you guys to do the same. So please, before it's too late, stand up for our rights, guys, because if they take this inch, and they very well may take a mile, and there'll be a lot more policies that'll definitely infringe on your rights. And if you don't care now, it may be too late for that. So as always, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and have a good one.